Welcome to Jordan and Drew, the sports crew. Drew's College Athlete Spotlight. We are on episode 14. This marks the second last episode of season 1 of the College Athlete Spotlight series. And today we have on Allie Verbauwhede of Edgewood College in Madison. She is an Edgewood Eagle. She's from Lincoln. So we have a Manitowoc, we're in Manitowoc area here in Northeast Wisconsin. We have a Lincoln graduate. Jordan went to Lincoln. So here's the connection for this one. So Allison, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. And yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking some, D3 sports here in the NCAA level. We're talking the NAC, the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference, that one. And that's kind of like the other, D3, conference we'll see here in Wisconsin, other than the WEAC. So let's talk about it here. So, starting with you, of course, Allie, in high school, right? We'll go back to your days as a ship in the FRCC. What sports did we see you compete in at the high school level?
Yeah, so in high school, I did tennis, cross country and track, but then there were a couple years where I just did tennis, and then junior year I didn't run, and then I came back for track, and then I went back to tennis. So it's been a mixture. I did cross country and tennis like in the fall for most of my high school career.
So it ended up working then because those supposed to be both being in the fall. You just did like what you said, you alternated like years, right? Is that because you couldn't do dual sports, right?
No, I did do dual sports. So I did it my freshman, sophomore year, and then I was injured, so I took off my junior year of cross country, but I came back for track, and then senior year I did cross country and tennis and then track. So
see, it's nice, schools offer the dual sport thing, but sometimes, were you able to were there a lot of conflicts? Because I know in fall, I don't even think so. Where I'm from, Valders, I don't even know if they let you do dual sports in fall. Recently, they allowed spring dual sports. That was, a big thing a few years ago. So what about that?
Yeah, so it was challenging like my freshman year because, well, my dad was my tennis coach, so he was going to support me no matter what. But we really had to work out a schedule with cross country and tennis at the same times, and I had to pick and choose my meets that I would go to. So I picked tennis as my primary sport. So if there was ever a conflict, I would go to tennis.
Okay, so that's how that worked. And it turned out, it worked very well for you, right? Tennis, looking, if I'm reading this right, if the stats don't lie, you posted a 33-3 record senior year. Am I reading this right? So, talk about dominance there. You won around at state 3 out of the 4 seasons in tennis as well. And I'm gonna ask the tough question right away. What is the favorite sport out of the 3? Because we'll talk about it later, but you're doing 3 sports in college. So first time we've had someone on here on the College Athlete Spotlight doing 3 sports in college. So which one's the favorite?
If you would have asked me a little bit ago, I probably would have said tennis, but right now it's definitely running.
So running has leapfrogged tennis as of right now is what we're hearing. But let's talk then, about cross country and then track in high school. Did you, out of those, was there one that stood out as your favorite, track and doing that in the spring? Was that just a nice refresh?
Yeah, I mean, track and cross country are kind of very different. I mean, I do long distance in track, so it's still pretty long, but I've never really minded track. People always get bored because of the circles and stuff, but for me, that's no problem. Personally, I think track is I don't know, it's really just I mean, there is training and stuff, but it's basically how talented you are, because you don't really have obstacles. You don't have to run up a hill, and I mean, weather is going to play a factor, but it's kind of just your raw talent. So I like that part about it.
It's shorter long distance. That's how I always like to put it. And it's around
until you get to college.
And we will talk about that. And when we do a little transition later, talking college. But with that, talking high school sports still, was there a favorite moment for you? You mentioned having your dad as coach. That seems pretty cool. But
I will never have another coach like him. That was definitely an awesome experience. One of my favorite moments would definitely be my senior year tennis career. That was probably most successful. And I got to do it with my dad as my coach, and Kendra Peterson was my doubles partner, and we took third in state, and that was like the first time that's ever been done. So that was super exciting, and I was just like very thankful that I had the opportunity. And also another one would be like my freshman year of high school. My sister was a senior on the team and I was a freshman, and we were both on varsity, and we won conference and made it to team state. So that was fun.
That seems, pretty cool going along with your sister. But I do remember hearing about that state doubles run then your senior year. WOMT, actually, Lakeshore's Good Neighbor, they did a great job covering and actually highlighting. We weren't around then here, the sports crew, so we weren't able to, we always like to cover sports that we believe, aren't maybe the best covered around, the media, but it's awesome that they were able to, get the word out that you and Kendra were able to, make it that far, make it a third place at state. So talking then, track, cross country, do you have a favorite course? I know everyone's got a favorite course.
Yeah. For cross country, I would definitely say it would either be like New London. I don't know why I like that one so much. I just always like performed well there. And then I don't remember what year it was, but one year when we ran there, like we got first as a team, and that was super cool. And I just always had like a really good performance. So that was always enjoyable. And I also never minded Shawano. That was a good one because that's when I first broke 20, and that was super exciting for me. But then everyone has to love Fond du Lac because that's where all the PRs come from because it is so fast. So that's also a good one. But other than that, those are like my favorite ones.
Those are the main ones. All right. Yeah. Was there that moment, that you were like, hey, I can do this at the next level in all three sports? Did you have a moment?
Well, I was like, the thought of like always playing in like college was like in my mind because my siblings both did. So it's like, I probably can too. I guess I just never realized like, so bad, but I never realized like how good I was at like tennis. And like, I mean, after like now that I have like college experience, but it's like I'm able to reflect and realize like third in the state is pretty good. Like, I don't know, like when I was younger, I just like never thought I was good enough, but
really sinks in now. Yeah. That's
yeah.
great to hear.
Yeah. But, so now it's like setting in a little bit.
And that's how, that's just how it is sometimes. But is there that teammate, that you have to shout out, someone who doesn't get maybe a lot of love?
Oh, yes. So I always get along my teammate, Brianna Reinhardt. She goes to Stout, but she doesn't run anymore. But I know that in the summer, we're going to try and run together. She's training for a half marathon. So I've definitely joined her on that one. But I don't know. Like in high school, it was just always her and I. So we really had each other. And that was just, I mean, we were always together. So it was a fun experience. And then one that's still there, actually, that I trained a lot with was Zach Bergner. He's still there right now, but anytime I come home, we try to run together and we like motivate each other to run. So it's exciting.
Always good to have a running buddy. I think
Absolutely.
They say I didn't do cross country. I'm pretty sure that's how it works though. But let's transition a little here into the college stuff. So, senior year, Allie, track wraps up. Did you have, were there offers coming in? How did Edgewood? How did this come about?
Yeah, I mean, I had like a lot of schools in Wisconsin like reach out to me. Unfortunately, like personally, I feel like I really didn't have a great senior year for running. Like, I don't know, I just like lots of struggles along the way for sure. But I just like kind of like toured all the schools, and like it was kind of hard though because I wanted to find one where I could do both tennis and run and like both be competitive at both levels, because I didn't want a school that was like super good at tennis but bad at running, or the vice versa, So it just was like, it took a lot, and I don't think I decided Edgewood until like the last possible day. But I think my sister definitely had an influence too, though, because she went to college here as well.
There you go. Can you name some of the other schools maybe that were in the consideration?
Yeah. So I looked at Concordia, Ripon, Oshkosh. I also looked at like IIT. And then this one was more for tennis, but I did look at St. Mary's in Minnesota, and I also was thinking North Central for a little bit. So those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay,
right
yeah.
now.
So I'm hearing, more of the Division III, around this area, Wisconsin area, right? So, and they found you in Madison.
Yes.
So that's how this came about, it sounds like. And, let's talk about how it's been going, in the athletics. And now this is your third year here at Edgewood. So now you've been around. And with that, you were a scholar athlete as a freshman. You've gotten some nice accolades along the way. We'll talk about a recent one, later in this episode that we did see on the social media that did get aired. Was it Tuesday? So we did see that, but talking through it, your freshman year, you get there. Just overall, how was the difference? Because you talked about the track, now it's being longer. How much longer does it get? And just overall courses, let's hear about it.
Yeah, so freshman year was tough, like for like all my seasons. We'll start with running, I guess. So cross country, we go from the 5K to the 6K, which doesn't really seem that big of a difference, but like when you're running, you can definitely tell. So for numbers, it's like 5K is 3.1 and the 6K is 3.74, I believe. And I just was like not prepared for that. So I didn't really have quite the best freshman cross country season that I wanted to, but I mean, I had some good races, but it was definitely like hard adjusting and adapting to like being away from home and like everything like that. So it was a struggle for sure, but got through it. And then, so I did tennis during the same time as well. And that went a lot better. I was actually doubles partners with my sister. So that was an enjoyable experience for sure, because we never played together in high school. But we won conference, and then I was freshman of the year for tennis, and then I was all conference for singles and doubles, and I played 4 singles, and it was super fun. So that was freshman year.
That's awesome. The accolades coming in. They don't tell us that on here, at least what I'm reading. So they better update those accolades for that. But like we mentioned, 3 sports, and Edgewood gave you that versatility to be able to do so. And just, let's talk a little training here. Because I know with, running, because, long distance was kind of your thing, and is your thing in track, cross country. Did Edgewood put you on a program? Was it and like weight room stuff? Were they having you on strength training stuff? Like, how has that been going?
Yeah, well, my coach now is absolutely amazing. I love her so much. She was such a good runner. She actually ran at Madison, and so she's very successful. So she's an amazing coach. But I mean, the training she does was definitely different from like high school, from what I do now. Like, she gave us like minutes, and so it's like you don't have to run like so many miles. It's basically you run how you feel, and however many miles you can get in within that time limit, that's what it is. And like we do have our workouts and everything like that and our long runs, but like right now, just like a week. So yesterday I ran for 90 minutes. Today I ran for 60, and then tomorrow we'll have like a workout, and then Thursday will be like an easy day, so that'll be like 50 minutes maybe, and then Friday we'll do another workout, and then Saturday will be like an easy day of like 40 minutes, and then Sunday I think I have like 80 minutes. So it's definitely a lot more miles than I ran in high school, that's for sure.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. And we actually, talking through the college athletes, probably we've done other cross country runners. I have heard, we're seeing a lot more coaches switch to more looking at minutes and not distance, which I think is an interesting philosophy. And it seems to, it seems to be working, right? So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But in tennis as well, I'm seeing here, your sophomore year went very well as well. All singles and doubles, all conference in the NAC. And it seems like you going to Edgewood, it seems like you guys have had a lot of success in all the sports you've competed in, considering, again, here, last season you got the NAC regular season championship. So it looks like it's going well, team-wise as well, because individually, means stuff as well. But looking as a team, it's always good to succeed in that aspect, of course. So let's talk a little, track as well. I mean, that's kind of the season right now going on, right? Because now with cross country and tennis, right? Girls tennis is still in the fall, and college as well.
Yeah, fall and spring. It's
spring. So we got 2 sports going on right now, then, right?
Yeah,
here in the spring.
Tennis hasn't really. Yeah, we start practice, but we don't start like competition yet.
But then the track indoor season that's been going on.
Yeah, that just finished.
It's ended. So now outdoors starting. Yeah, because there's college does it a lot. So as of March, 22nd, 23rd, now you got outdoor starting up. You got tennis starting up. So they do 2 seasons for that. So do they do like a fall season? Do they combine the fall and the spring stats together to make a season? How do they do that?
So for tennis, the fall is you play like conference matches, and that's when you get like you play all your conference matches, and then you get like kind of be seeded. Like, so we won conference this year, so when we go into spring season, we're like seeded. It's basically just the tournament. So we'll have like a little like couple matches that aren't like anyone in the conference, but then there's like a tournament for nationals. So we'll be going in as the 1 seed, but I've actually never played in it because last year I got injured the day before. And then the year before that, COVID. So I've never experienced it.
So is this then through the NCAA, like a Division III?
Yep.
Awesome. So and then you compete as a team, right? Is that how this works?
Yeah. Yep. It's a team thing.
Do they also have individuals then in that?
I don't think for that, but I know that like in the fall we do something called ITAs. And if you do like well there, then I think you go higher up. But yeah,
that's how it goes. So
yeah,
how is that gonna conflict? Because now 2 sports. So I'm gonna guess tennis here is the priority. But like if there's an outdoor track meet, how does this work?
Yeah, I actually switched my priority to running. Yeah. I've just been having a lot of success recently in running, and I would like to see where that keeps going. So if there is a conflict, like running has my full attention for sure.
And let's talk about why. I mean, record setting, right? I believe now the school record for the 3K, right? Was that happened, and that happened. Did you guys go to Myrtle Beach as well then?
Yeah, so that was our spring break.
That was we had 2 guys from Concordia on. It was Bernie Vandenhoevel and Gideon Kane. We had those 2 on the show. They also went to Myrtle Beach. So we
saw them there.
You did see. So you saw a college athlete spotlight guest, and now you 3 are all college athletes spotlight guests. But yeah, let's talk about that 3K. That highlights, the Edgewood Eagles in their second day in South Carolina. You ran a 10:32. So talk about it. Did you have any idea you had, that you had the record? Like, let's hear about it.
Personally, like, I didn't even know that, like, because the outdoor 3K isn't really like a common race. It's not like actually one that's run. So it's very few times that like athletes get to run it. And I didn't even know that like the girl who has the record, she's like insanely good. And like, she's got a ton of records, and like, she's like one of the greatest girls that our coach has coached. So when I got done, like, I mean, like I did run like a good race, but like I ran faster. So I was like, whatever. And then she's like, you broke the record. And I was like, oh, like really? I like didn't believe her. I was like, no, like I did not get that record, because like the girl who has it is so good. And I was like shocked kind of. And like, I just like didn't really feel like I did, but here I am.
Yeah. And with that, we saw an award come these past few days now, and it was, you want to talk about it weren't you athlete of the week?
Oh yeah, so Edgewood does like athlete of the week, just like top performances of like each individual sport. So yeah, I got it this week because in the 3K I broke the record and got 3rd overall. So that was exciting, especially because like at Myrtle Beach there were like a bunch of D1 schools.
Talented, yeah, and
there was like good competition. So it was exciting, especially like being able to like compete at that level and like actually like
and catch some eyes even with Division I, right? I mean, you're being able to, run that well, like you mentioned, with that competition there, just a great feat, of course. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we talked about kind of why did you choose Edgewood, but like, what about like academics? Like, we got to include some academics here. What stands out? Why Edgewood?
Student athlete first. My major is elementary education, so they have a really good education program here. So that like is definitely one thing that drew me to Edgewood was the education program. And Madison is like a really great area. There's tons of lots of schools, lots of diversity as well. So it's like just like you're gonna have a ton of opportunities and experiences. And yeah, I don't know. And like Madison is like, it's not too far away from home, but it's also not super close. But no, athletics are academics are going pretty well. I did, this past semester I was on the dean's list and I had a 4.0. So I'd say
there we go.
well.
And we, I've said the word scholar athlete, it seems a lot in this episode. So that's always a good sign. So that's how we know academics are going well. But I guess then the long-term career goal with elementary education being, I'm going to guess, an elementary school teacher, right? Am I hit that one on the nose there? Awesome. So maybe talk a little bit more about this past year, because as we said, junior, right? So, how has, this been going? I know we mentioned some of the PRs already here in the track and with tennis as well, but go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just actually, so at the end of my track season last year at conference, I ruptured my plantar fascia. So I was actually in a boot all summer long and on crutches. So I didn't actually have summer training. I was like rehabbing all summer. So, and I got cleared to like play tennis like a couple weeks before the season started. So super nerve wracking coming in, like not being able to like do anything basically. So I was like, felt like I was starting up from like the bottom, and I had to like, kind of work my way back to where it was, because I was in pretty good shape. I had a good sophomore season in all of my sports. So when I like came back and I was like super nervous, I didn't know what I was going to do, because I knew I couldn't do like cross country and tennis, because that was like too much to ask for at that moment because the injury. So I decided to focus on tennis for like August, September, and then I raced my first race in October, and that was like my first race back since like May, and like I was like had no training, so my training was literally like walk 5 minutes, run 1 minute, and like repetition like that. So it was like I was very nervous, but it actually went well. I ended up winning, and then things just took off from there, and I really haven't looked back. So it's been very successful so far, and hopefully we keep it that way.
let's keep that going, right? So, and it sounds like it's been going well. Training, that minutes running, sounds like it's been working, right? So, and plus with the other program stuff going on here at Edgewood, very successful school in the NAC. I mean, overall in those sports that you chose, it's been going great athletically, as you've just shown. Yeah, your senior year then coming up, this next year, maybe we'll see captain, I guess, maybe in front, as a title, but we'll have to wait and see. And did you end up, weren't you granted an extra year of eligibility, right?
Yeah, so I actually we have like a ton of eligibility. So I think technically eligibility wise, I'm still a sophomore. So
would that be potentially something you'd use? I know, like, right, is it elementary education 4-year program, right? Yeah. So would there be a potential we see you come back for a 5th year? What are your thoughts?
I'm not opposed to it. I guess we'll have to see if I'm satisfied after my senior year, and if I've hit the goals that I've wanted to achieve. But I could definitely see myself like coming back, especially running under my coach. Like, she's amazing. So, she
and
take me.
And with that, I mean, do you ever see yourself getting into coaching? Maybe even, running that, maybe like that half marathon that, that you mentioned one of your friends was doing. Is there, what's the future looking like?
Oh, I would absolutely love to coach. Tennis, running, really doesn't matter to me. I feel like running is harder to coach, but that is something I totally would love to do. So I can see that in my future, especially with being a teacher. I feel like a lot of teachers fit right into that coaching job. Yep.
Perfect in there. So yeah, it seems like sports is going to be, rest of life, maybe, coaching, helping other people out. And that's what teachers are about. So that's great to hear, Allie. So yeah, with that, I guess anything else then you want to add?
No, I think we've covered.
Perfect. Make sure we get everything here. So yeah, I wish you the best then academically and athletically. Keep it going. Keep up the great stuff. And yeah, I guess with that then, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan and Drew, the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.